I'd like to show you what you can do with your TI-84 Plus or your graphing calculator to solve systems of equations. So suppose you wanted to solve the system y equals 1/2 x plus 3 and y equals 4x minus 4. Well, remember that the solution to a system is where the two lines cross. So if you turn your calculator on and go to y equals, and we're going to type in the first function, so y equals, so let's do our fraction. So we have 1/2 x plus 3. And then in y2, I'm going to graph 4x minus 4. All right, so I have those two. Now, I have my graph already set up from -10 to 10 both directions. Remember, Zoom 6 was the standard viewing window. So you can do that and take a look at your graph. Now, you can see where they cross, and if you hit trace, you can use the right arrow key, and you can kind of approximate where they cross, but that's not the best way to do this. To find out where they cross, we're going to click on second, and then the trace button. Notice in blue it says calc. And one of the options, number 5, is intersect, and that's what we want to know because we want to know where they intersect. So again, those commands, let's see where that cursor is there. Okay, so we have second, calc, intersect. Now, you end up with some comments. Notice it says first curve, because it's possible to have more than 2 lines graphed, or they might not even be lines. So your calculator is asking you a question. Is this the first curve? Well, yeah, it is. It's blinking on the first curve I wanted, so I hit enter. And then it will ask, notice that the cursor is now blinking on the other line, and it says, is this the second curve? Yeah, it is. So I hit enter. And then it asks me to make a guess. Now, you don't have to make a guess. You just want the cursor to be blinking close to where the point of intersection is. So here it is. And there's my answer. So it tells me that the solution to the system of equations is 2, 4. So I get x equals 2, y equals 4. So that's pretty easy. Let's try another one. All right, so let's try this next one. And I'm going to clear my graph here and type in 2/3, and I'm just going to do 2/3. I get tired of doing the fraction key. 2/3 x plus 3. And I'll clear out this one and type in -2x minus 4. All right, hopefully you remember that that x key is next to the alpha key. Remember, that's the shortcut for x. Now if I hit graph, all right, you want to make sure that you can see where they cross in your viewing window. So when you're using the calculator to solve, you have to be able to see it in your viewing window. So sometimes you have to adjust the window to make sure you can see where they cross. So remember what we do: second, calc, intersect. You can just hit number 5. And it's going to ask you, is this the first curve? Yeah. Enter. Is this the second curve? Yeah. And make a guess. So I'm just going to move my cursor. And actually, with only 2 lines there and they only cross once, it really wouldn't matter anyway. I could have just hit enter 3 times. And you see your solution. So my solution that I get when I do that is x equals -2.625 and y equals 1.25. That's what I would have got. Actually, if you look back at your notes from a previous day, that's actually what we got when we solved those. when we did it algebraically by setting the two expressions equal to each other. Now, suppose you wanted to, this actually stores this in the value of x. Let me clear out, if I go second quit, now if I just type, I'm back to just my main screen, if I type an x and hit enter, it actually temporarily stores that value, which could be handy because if I wanted to change it to a fraction, I can hit math, fraction, and that if I hit enter again, now I get negative 21/8. So that's kind of handy. To find the y value, it's actually stored in y, so that's above the 1 key. You have to hit alpha and then 1, and I can hit enter, and I get 1.25. Now it's only temporarily stored there because then if I do another solution this way, it's going to put the new thing over that. So now if I wanted to change that to a fraction, I could do that and get 5/4. All right, so all right, now let's try this one. Unfortunately, in order to use your graph on your calculator to graph these, you have to have them solved for y. Now, they don't technically have to be in slope-intercept form, but they do have to be in the form y equals. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work first before I can do this on my calculator. So if I subtract 4x from each side, I get 9y equals negative 4x minus 1. Then I'm going to divide each side by 9, and I get y equals negative 4/9 x minus 1/9. Over here, I'm going to add 5x to both sides. So I get 2y equals 5x minus 12. Got to get y by itself, so I divide by 2, and I get y equals 5/2 x minus 6. So now I want to type those into my calculator. So I'm going to get negative 4/9 x minus 1/9. And if you're not really sure about when you need parentheses and when you don't, I would recommend using the fraction key on here when you enter those in. And this one, I'm going to have 5/2 x minus 6. Okay, once I've entered those, now I can hit graph. And I can see where they cross. So I want to know where they cross. So second, calc, intersect. And basically I can hit enter 3 times. First curve, yes. Second curve, yes. Guess. See where I'm reading these things, these prompts. And you know, like I said, you don't even have to move the cursor because if there's only one place where they cross. So I get as my solution 2, negative 1. Now, this is a great way to check your answers. Of course, as we're in this class, I'm going to want you to show the work, and you're going to have to, show me that when you're solving those. However, it's a great way to check your answers, and then you can make sure that you did it correctly, and then look back and see what you did wrong if you missed the problem.